So Morgan and Walt have beef now.
No,
because of Heart of Darkness.
We squashed it. There's no
didn't happen on Mike, so it didn't happen.
It didn't happen on Mike's. Didn't happen. Water under the bridge. And I'm going to tell you guys, the listeners, what I told Belvin and Dan, these two perfidious fucks. All right, Morgan and me, we came together like Gondor and Rohan. I'm Rohan, to fight off Daniel and Belvin's insinuations and attempts to tear down the realm of men. Daniel, kind of a Sauron figure. Belvin, kind of just a Shelob kind of vibe I get from Belvin in general.
Yeah, Belvin has green skin and breasts now.
When did Shelob get breasts? Why are you guys referencing this? Is this some online game shit?
The Shadow over Mordor sequel, right? Or like some new Lord of the Rings game has Shelob, and she's sexy now.
Oh,
yeah,
then Belvin's not Shelob. Belvin's probably Worm Tongue, I would say.
You know what? The listeners, all of you, you're all Shelob, and we love you.
I'm whispering in your ear.
Yeah, the listeners that we like and respect can be Shelob, and that's probably 1%, the cream of the crop, right? And they play into this epic tale of Middle Earth, this duel of wills that we have.
Are you cool if I put a giant flaming eye above the apartment so I can just kind of keep a lookout for things?
Keep a lookout for what are you keeping a lookout for? I think it's my first question.
You know, pigs and
we get so many fans who drop in too. You know, all the time. Fans are doxing me.
The people who steal my packages off the porch, who I will be buying a gun to take action against.
Yeah, actually, it would be nice to be able to see them so we could be ready to throw them into Mount Doom at a moment's notice when they steal our package, because it is fucking annoying to just have packages delivered to your apartment and then some little fucking hobbit bastards just take it right off your porch.
Yeah, some hobbit stole $90 worth of fucking packages.
Brandywine behavior.
Yeah.
That is real Brandywine shit, you know.
Maybe a loose Saxville Beckons.
Fool of a took.
This is going to be a great season, probably the greatest season ever. And you know why that is? It's because we've been in this for a long time, this world building game. And I think we can definitively state now that we're the best at world building, probably out of anybody that's in the game right now.
Yeah, I'd say.
I think that nobody has the reps we have. Nobody has the amount of worlds we've had. We've lost more good worlds due to editing errors than these people have ever made.
You know what, Sanderson, Rothfuss, if you got a problem with that, come to my fucking house. I'll fucking beat you up. I'll beat the shit out of you.
If Gene Wolfe were alive right now, he couldn't even get on this podcast. That's how good we are, dog.
No, we only have our friends on the podcast. Nobody of importance. Nobody of repute. just our friendos. That's it.
And now that we kind of embrace that we're the definitive best at world building, you know, I think we can really lean in and build some truly amazing muscle flexes of worlds.
Oh, make some real ones instead of the goofs we've been doing.
Right.
This is just us at 10% of our power, the prior seasons.
Yeah, we've been goofing around.
The past is prelude. That was all warm up. We know it was bad. I mean, like, don't get us wrong. Like, it was every one of it was terrible. But now.
And if you can't notice the difference between us at 10% of our power and us at full power, maybe the episodes sound slightly the same to you because nothing has really changed to your uneducated ear. It's because you need help, you know, psychologically, spiritually.
Yeah, you're like a sophomore reading Metamorphosis, just lost. Lost in the woods. It's too complicated for your pedestrian ways.
That's what people don't appreciate about like a good D&D game. You have to have a good dungeon master, but you have to have good players. You gotta have good players. The audience isn't good. It's not going to be a good episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so smart enough.
That's true. What we do on this podcast, we build worlds in 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes if we're dabbing on you, you know, if we're feeling real Gucci that day. We build them based off 3 random words. There is a lore lad who is kind of responsible for creative control over the entire setting. We build episode by episode, and that'll change. This inaugural episode of season 4, I could not be more proud to present Morgan Chessman with the episode Mantle of Lore Lad.
Mm-hmm.
I gladly accept the mantle of anger. I mean, the mantle of whatever. What mantle is it?
It's a
mantle
+3 Mantle of Fury.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
man. Can you guys give me like an hour to attune to this?
No.
That'll be good.
No.
You can think of the lore lad as sort of the divorce lawyer of the group, handling disputes, the children,
And I
all that
believe
good stuff.
some of Daniel's background, maybe. Creeping in here. Some of Daniel's tumultuous family history.
Yes. Very good. Oh, well, very good, Mr. Kunkel.
And we're off to the
Yikes.
races again. What are the words?
You pick first. I don't know.
Joy. That's my word, is joy. Because I'm
So we're doing a
overjoyed
fantasy.
to be back in
Yeah.
the setting yet again.
Yeah. So it's a fantasy today. Okay. Okay. All right.
My word is cultivation.
No.
I've been reading a lot of
Okay.
the Chinese classics lately.
That's interesting because
No.
my word was tiger.
Okay.
Joy, cultivation, and tiger. These are the rocks upon which an empire will be
I can
built.
feel the DMCA from Legend of the Five Rings already coming.
Yeah, I could feel. We lost a really good episode, by the way. We recorded a season 4 premiere that was amazing, but Legend of the Five Rings would have sued us and they would have won. It was actually, you know what? That episode stood on its own two legs.
That was a
really
great
good.
episode. We were all in person
Alright.
together,
Enough about-
but yeah.
Enough about that, because it's time for the joy tiger of cultivation
Joy-
to take center stage rightfully.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to address cultivation first.
What is it?
Cul-
Yeah, for the listener.
Cultivation is a Chinese genre of novels, I think, where like the whole point is to like us like you're cultivating like power.
Well, the
and
protagonist
like you're
has
ascending
like
to
real
higher-
progression, right? Like they train a lot.
goal,
Right.
Yeah.
The goal of cultivation is to become immortal, essentially. But along the way, you
Right.
pick up like supernatural powers, incredible levels of strength. It's wushu novels.
It's yes.
Oh, this is going to be a
Wuxia.
bad episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cultivation
just
has other
cleaned
meanings.
Yeah,
Cultivation
we
can
can
be
use-
farming.
I cultivate every day by preserving the most essential substance. I'm talking, of course, the milk of man, which I refuse to
I
spit.
should have picked jism as my word. I thought about it.
Is jism the milk of human kindness? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's it's the very substance of dude's rock.
It's great for cultivating. It is. If you have enough of it. So let's not just swing super hard into Chinese cultivation.
No, but like
because I don't.
riffing off of
Yeah.
that concept, like so a world where everyone has the potential to reach those sort of heights, right? Like a world where it's not just like one or two protagonists, but like everyone knows some sort of sacred track where they can level up, gain feats, reach towards the skies. That's kind of interesting.
What if everyone kind of has an assigned plot of land to cultivate, but you're not, where it is innately, but you're not born there. And sometimes it's really far away. And you have to reach there. So everyone kind of has this land that's theirs or fated to be theirs, this own little thing. Eh?
That's kinda
So
interesting.
you have to like undergo an odyssey to like find your
You
true
undergo a
place.
journey. Yeah.
Huh. Everyone has this. So
Maybe not everyone.
okay. I feel like
Most people,
yeah.
I would say might.
I think most people, if everyone is just traveling, is it possible then that a lot of people don't cultivate because they are,
They never reach where they're supposed to.
or they can't, like they live on a different continent, so they're like, well, maybe one day I'll go cultivate, but they don't because they can't. They would have to travel over mountains and across oceans. So it's very lucky if you get to cultivate nearby, like near you. Oh, so I guess you could like sort of tie that into a sort of not resurrection. What do you call reincarnation idea?
Yeah.
Where like everyone here, like the reason that you're tied to some cultivated land, some land to cultivate that may be really far away from you, is because you were nearby that land, like in a past life.
Could it
and
be?
Then now you're reborn somewhere else.
Could it be that like even when you reincarnate, it's the same plot of land you have to return to? The idea of like continuing to develop it over your cycles of reincarnation.
I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might have to like tangle with your own descendants because you show up and you're like, this is my place. And it's like, oh shit.
And you tell them to go find their own shit. It's very individualistic, actually, in that way. It's kind of funny. I wanted to run something by the Lorla here. Who administers who gets what land, or who's assigned what land? Heavenly bureaucracy.
Well, I'm imagining like a very pastoral world. There's these vast swaths of farmland, sort of idyllic, a little Chinese. I mean, that's what I'm imagining.
Yeah, we can't help it. Especially Tiger in there also threw it.
Chinese or like American West, kind of.
It's a mix. It's a mix, an aesthetic mix that makes it unique.
Yeah.
Of the two sorts of places, we've done a lot more of one than the other, I will say.
Yes, that's true.
We've done both a lot.
No, we haven't done China really.
Well, that's true.
We have the Japan
Tarzan,
one.
Mongolia. I count that one, even though I know Mongolia is not China, but
our
it's
last
right
one
next
that
door.
got aborted was very Japanese, and also probably like one of the best worlds we've ever done.
You have to stop talking about. It's dead.
Yeah.
To be
Never
fair,
bring up. Yeah.
To be fair, neither of those are China. So okay,
That's true.
That's true.
There was one world. I'm not going to get into it. So there are all these plots of land. I guess ideally farming different things, right? So in this world, I mean, if we want to really lean to joy, right? Let's say that there are like more spices and fruits and vegetables and grains.
Nope, and
by
opium.
an order of magnitude than you'd find in our world. Like just such a really rich array of all these different things that could be farmed. And vast plains of farmland to do it in. And once you find your place, you know, that's sort of like a heaven on earth sort of thing, but I would assume it's hard to get there. And I would think,
not everyone
and I
makes
think
it, you know.
brigands too.
That's actually a cool idea because like that variety is in like over your cycles of reincarnation, you're like crossbreeding plants and creating new different kinds of vegetables and spices and shit. Like I do kind of like that.
Yeah, and if you reach your place and you haven't like lived like a good life, the gods can like reincarnate you further away or delay your reincarnation by like 50 years. And then when you get back to your plot, stuff's deteriorated. Maybe someone else lives there now temporarily. It's just kind of like, it's a very transient world.
Well, what if it's sort of a man versus nature thing? I mean, I just a tiger god came to mind, like some nature force that like always wants to be reclaiming the land.
Yes,
and that's sort of the antagonistic element too.
Well, this kind of smacks of was it Garlic Baby House that we did that had the like benevolent plant spirits and evil or kind of ambivalent to humanity beast spirits, right?
Yeah.
That was more ambivalent. I would say less evil and more ambivalent. There was always a sort of separation between them, and there wasn't that much intent on like a frontier and pushing it, and like
there were just wild
to go
animals
back
there,
into that.
but not like wild animals that explicitly wanted to raid your home.
The tiger is an apex predator,
sure,
right?
Yes.
So it not only are the cultivators trying to like reclaim plots of land that are now just nature, maybe, or trying to defend themselves from nature, but nature is actually trying to also take back cultivation land. Like what if animals are trying to cultivate? You know,
do they?
Like
what the fuck are you talking about?
Maybe somebody who gets like cultivates enough and who's reincarnated as an animal is like, well, shit, I'm a gorilla, but I'm gonna keep cultivating. Like, I'm not gonna waste this life.
Yeah, I don't know about farming animals, but definitely like animals being drawn to the same space because in the past life there are cultivators there. That's interesting.
Yeah, that kind of is a cool theme. And then you could have like villages of kind of like Tanuki people or like animal people who live out the mannerisms of people, but who aren't people, and they're trying to make good use of their reincarnation anyway.
That's interesting. I mean, are we thinking like there's full-blown assaults from animal forces? Like, say you have like this really big grain refinery and grain fields, and you're one of the more successful cultivator families that we're probably going on your plot. Are the animals like a fucking like tower defense mode attack? Like, are they
Maybe
trying to invade?
I mean, that goes with the man versus nature thing. But it's like man infecting nature and then using nature against man.
Right. I don't necessarily like you comparing it to a tower defense game, but I mean, I guess that's what it is.
Well, it would also be like sneaky beaky, right? Like animals can like if like a whole bunch of like rats have gotten together, they like raid grain houses like in the cover of night, like by stealth, and carry a bunch of shit off.
Whoa, really? Shit. That's terrifying. I don't want a grain house now. I don't want to get raided by rats.
Just need cats.
No, that's true.
So are the rats humans, or they were once human, or are they acting out of bestial impulse? This is kind of the thing we should nail down.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
I like human
I think
souls.
it's two conflicting views of animals here.
I think there's a lot of bestial impulse going on still because they are beasts, but there's like people who have like cultivated enough, they keep sort of their human urges.
Yeah, I like that. Also, I like the idea of there being like a tiger king, some sort of like spirit figure who's sort of like stealing away these human souls and putting them in animals. Like he just wants more for his dominion.
Oh, interesting. So that's how people don't always, because if the gods had it their way, everyone would reincarnate as human. But there's one kind of rogue element who's this natural kind of god.
Let's not do Tiger King for a number of reasons. Let's say Tiger Emperor, because emperors are above kings, and the tiger is the apex predator.
Okay, sure.
Right.
The Tiger Emperor of heaven. Tiger Emperor of the Great Forest.
Yes. So I'm into this Tiger Emperor now. Okay. So we haven't talked about joy yet. So maybe
not at all.
Maybe this Tiger Emperor is like I want to say cultivating joy.
Well,
maybe?
He thinks he's trying to teach humans because he's like, humans think they can reach all this joy through cultivating. What actually would bring them the most joy is to let me take control of their reincarnation cycle and have them tear down a bunch of shit. And that's that, like, he's not like malevolent. He is bad for humans trying to do what they want to do. But he is acting to educate them, maybe.
And trying to, like, restore sort of, like, because I guess his thing is, like, if I bring humanity back to nature, then they'll actually be happy.
Well, he could have been a human god who died and was reincarnated as kind of like an animal god. And he actually really liked it. And he was like, if all of humanity did this, our problems would be solved. There wouldn't be brigands on the road. We would just be animals kind of amuck in a world that was kind of
if we're talking about the god backstory, I like the idea of like some trickster god putting him in a tiger body, like reincarnating on Earth, and he's like, "Oh, I actually really like this," and then he,
and he's like, humankind would be happier actually if we abandoned all pretense of cultivation and society.
Yeah, so it's like different visions of joy from the gods. I like the idea of like all the gods wanting to impart joy. That's kind of nice, but like in ways that still create conflict, because there would also be like the gods of cultivation who assign you your spirit plots and like sort of send you messages.
The heavenly bureaucracy.
I think they send you like dream messages and stuff like that to like tell you where to go when you reincarnate across the world. And the idea is like they believe, and maybe humans like move towards this too, that like finding your plot of land and cultivating that is, like I said, heaven on earth. Like that's the apex.
Their ultimate goal is to have an Earth that's maxed out in terms of its stats, right? Every piece of land is put to use in the perfect way.
Right.
You're not always cultivating. It doesn't have to be like a farm. It could be like you're building like a dam or something. Like they assign you like a piece of land that's literally like a stretch of beach.
Oh, so you're thinking it's like really order. Is this works?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what they want. Cultivation doesn't have to mean farm. Most of the land would be farmland, right? Due to how land works. But there are certain people who can cultivate different things in different parts of like the land they're assigned.
Well, and it's maxing out efficiency, right? Like you're creating all these different plots of lands that are being used as efficiently as possible to make other cultivation better and more efficient.
Yes, and Tiger God sees this and he's like, that's fucked up. Because you're denying people, you're basically making the cycle of reincarnation all about your heavenly desires. And people are just automata that are designed to slot into these roles. So the Tiger Guy doesn't want any of this shit. And he's like, actually, what makes the most sense is for us to run around as animals. And the way to get more animals is to, you guessed it, kill off more humans. And get them to reincarnate not as humans, but as animals. And once they see how much they like it, right, they're going to like being animals forever. There's a problem here in that there are some animals, we've established a caste of animals who kind of hold on to their humanity and want to like use little tools, like little like secret villages of rodents. So the Tiger God's also trying to hunt them out. He's like, no, you don't get it. You're not supposed to be doing any of this dumb cultivation shit. You're supposed to be frolicking and enjoying like your animalistic life, basically.
Wow.
That's my sorry.
Yeah, no, it's this big. It's so we've established this like order versus chaos sort of tension where like all of the humans are not only imposing order on the world through their actions, but like leaving a legacy of order like through reincarnation that it doesn't seem like it's ever going to be stamped out, right? Because like just because you kill someone who has that like those memories of cultivation, it doesn't, when they reincarnate they still probably will, like it's not gonna stop them.
It takes a few cycles probably.
Oof, God.
Can we dig a little into the nitty gritty of the world now that we've sort of established the cosmic stuff? Just trying to think.
Right. Okay.
Because we talked about all this like farmland. We've also talked though about pretty violent animal elements. So there would be like, weapon production, defense,
right?
That kind of stuff.
It would be seen as pretty like normal, I think, to kill animals too, because if they're a bad animal, they'll just be born as an animal again. If they're a good animal, they'll be reincarnated as a human, and you've upped the score by 1 for humanity, right?
Sure, well,
both sides are kind of they're not opposed to killing one another.
I think to aesthetically make sure this doesn't become like an industrialization world, like maybe all of the weaponry and tools are organic. Like you grow bamboo,
like farm tools.
Farm
I
tools,
think.
and
There's
also
no
like
reason.
maybe some like poisonous vegetation. Like all the weapons are organic.
Maybe.
I don't necessarily.
I
I don't necessarily like the idea of all the weapons being organic. I do like not pushing it, like pushing the industrialization that far.
I think it makes sense agricultural.
Because there is a this divine bureaucracy has the ability to basically control the planet by what they're telling people to cultivate.
Right, and it doesn't necessarily mean society would become industrial. Just because that's like the most efficient way to produce resources doesn't mean it's the most efficient way to cultivate or like make the land better.
What about
which I think it's not.
Instead of industry, instead of like factories and shit, it could be like, if they're organic, I mean, it could be like bone weapons, teeth, like a bone sword, like...
Well, humans would make tools, I think.
Yeah.
Wood and stone and stuff like that.
I mean, that is a tool, is using bone. Like...
Yeah. I just... I think that the we don't, to avoid industrialization, like avoiding industrialization is the important thing. I think you can still create things and not have it be in like industry, right?
Yeah, you can still smelt metal and have it be pastoral, you know?
Right. It's just not. It's not a. It never grows. Well, because the bureaucracy knows that if you were to like build up a lot in an area, and you were to like streamline everything so there was a lot of cultivation happening there, the Tiger Emperor would come and quash that down. So like as a response to trying to keep like their cultivators safe, they are by necessity in little pockets of like in trying to be well defended or spread out.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I was honestly just thinking aesthetically, it's more interesting to have like seed bombs and stuff and basic weapons slashing at animals. But
oh yeah, and they do like a lot of. Sometimes they do grow like grow weapons. Yeah, now I'm seeing it. Now I'm seeing like someone cultivates a plant that is a grenade, basically.
yeah, that's kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Okay.
Can there be people whose, like, as a response to the Tiger King, their cultivation goal is to prevent his goals from advancing? And they're like hunters, sort of?
Oh, I like that. Like sort of knights against nature.
Yeah, like their patch of land is pretty small, and it's right next to a bunch of big patches of land that can support their like thing. And then they get there and they're like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" And then like the gods are like, "Build like a skinning."
Oh, like warrior monk hunters. Yeah.
The gods like
build a monastery.
You get to your cultivation plot,
animals.
and they're like the gods like have like a sword naturally formed out of like diamond or something.
Yeah. It would be cool culturally in this setting too, because like humans killing humans would be like expressly forbidden. It'd be like the biggest no, because you've just ensured you're going to be reincarnated as an animal, and B, you don't know what other stage the guy was at, and you could have potentially created another animal by doing that. So you have in effect caused imbalance to the cycle of reincarnation.
The idea of brigands who just take shit but don't kill people is kind of interesting.
I do like that. Like that's a line that most people won't cross.
Yeah, like they use like whips and stuff, and then they just like kind of tie you up and take your shit and then leave.
Yeah, I like
that. That being said,
whips.
There could be people working for the Tiger Emperor who realize it's easier to kill people as a human than as an animal, because you can get in society, you can use human tools, you have human knowledge, you don't have to come at things animalistically. If I kill someone, I ensure that I get to come back as an animal, which is what I want in the end. It would bring me the most joy.
That's an interesting idea, because we talked about how you get these dreams from the Lords of Order telling you where you are supposed to go and supposed to cultivate. What if you also receive dreams from the Tiger Emperor, basically saying like, kill, maim, murder?
Yeah, like do it, fuck them up. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so like, and that's another thing the warrior monks have to kind of deal with, are these like double agents,
these cults. Yeah.
Oh, and they're constantly having to meditate away the tiger dreams.
I like the idea of a warrior monk going to his plot of land, and it's just like a fucking like just sand, and he's like, "What am I supposed to do here?" And he camps out, and then like a meteor falls to Earth. And it's like meteoric iron, and he like gets a sword master to forge him a blade.
Oh, that's sick, bro.
Yeah, that is cool.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking rad.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Fuck yeah. Meteoric iron is like the craziest shit. Like, it just fucking rock falls from space and you turn it into a sword. Like, hell fucking yeah, dude.
It's fucking rad.
Like, ignoring the fact that that's where like all iron came from is rocks in space, because that's what everything is. But
one last, to add a little scale to the setting, like we talked about cultivating all these different like herbs and spices and things that would like support a civilization. I do think there would be a few like really large cities where all these things are brought into, and I think there would also be like these massive hordes of animals, like sort of like, you know, these waves that just like move across the landscape in giant droves.
Yeah, and they have to be kind of like tracked and their whereabouts known at all times.
That's cool. Like, there's just like a giant horde of like dogs,
did we
lions.
just create Monster Hunter? Is that like what we've done?
I've never played Monster Hunter, so I don't know.
Not like giant animals, but like it's just like there's a horde of like hundreds of dogs, lions, wolves, and tigers that are just like crossing the land and fucking shit up.
Right. Wild streams of
That's cool. I like that.
I'm into that. Yeah, for sure.
No,
I want
like
to kill
that too.
hundreds of dogs. Yeah.
Me too.
You
Bud.
could play Last of Us 2 then.
I'm gonna. You know what the gods would assign me to do is cultivate some pussy. You know,
There it is.
That's the ultimate, the ultimate use.
Dude,
of cultivating.
weed, Lamau.
Cultivate weed.
Dude.
Video games. Yeah, I've reached the apex.
I'm
dog.
cultivating graphics cards.
Have we reached a natural conclusion of this episode?
I think we have, just naturally. It just seamlessly integrated into the show order.
32 minutes.
As lore lad, would like to say that this is a great world, and that we have yet again made a world that I would not want to live in. So,
I would like to
This
live in
was
it
not
as a
so
tiger.
bad.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, actually. Yeah,
That
I
would
want
be
an apex
because the
predator.
tigers are kind of like the humans of the other side. They're like the most favored animal. You get all the advantages of being an animal and none of the disadvantages. You don't get fat or like stupid or slow.
That's true. Yeah,
You just eat
I wouldn't
meat
hate living
and
in this
fuck.
world. Maybe you get to live some cottagecore lifestyle for a while
And then a
until the tiger
kills you.
comes.
Yeah, you're a cottage core with a trad wife, just farming rice on your land. It's pretty good.
She's cultivating earth, and man, she's a bombshell, and then you all die.
She's cultivating
The
a
tiger's
fat
attack.
ass.
That's a good life. That's a good life.
No, in
Well,
terms of
folks-
the livability of our settings, this is not even close to the worst.
This is up there.
It's
yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. You can live here. Well, folks, that's our show. If you like this episode, you can subscribe to us on your podcasting service of choice to get new episodes every other Saturday. If you want, go ahead and write us a review on iTunes and share us with all your world-building friends. It really helps us out. Our art is courtesy of the talented and wonderful Shell Torre at Jovial Paradox on Twitter. You can tweet at us too at LoreLads or send us spirited hate mail at 30minuteworlds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy world building.